Boo, acolytes. I have one about Doki. Just seen it and I thought, well, let's just do 3 videos today. Because, for F's sake, channeling Dokibird, again, somebody who tries it. I think by now Dokibird knows how to navigate through this without any problems. And either she's gonna act upon it or not. But let's see and hope for the best, won't we? By the way, I am positively aligned to Dokibird because I think she's a good creator, human being, all in all, fantastic. Let's just continue.
Hey, what's up guys, Riv here. So today we're going to be talking about the fallout stemming from this controversial video uploaded by the YouTuber Catliente, or as she is now known as, Cat in Chat. So she made this hit piece targeting the VTuber Dokibird, which was a big mistake because she is one of the most respected and well-liked VTubers in the scene. She also has a reputation for going above and beyond to support artists. And in this hit piece, Catliente is essentially accusing Dokibird of scamming her own audience, having this charity PC giveaway where she did not deliver on many different aspects of that. Well, as it turns out, there was a lot of lies in this video that have been debunked by Dokibird herself. And as you can see, Cat bit off more than she could chew here because it's blowing up in her face. You can see the like-dislike ratio. It's really, really bad. And before we get into the details of the situation, I have some good news, ladies and gentlemen.
By the way, before he continues, it's good. If a person who spreads misinformation to this degree, confirmed misinformation, gets shade on, good. I have nothing against it. I think we're finally coming to into the times where freaks just get shafted. And it's good.
Campaign has been extended by 1 additional day. That's right. If you use the link in the pinned comment and code REV30 at checkout, you can get 30% off your total advanced GG order. This campaign was extended by an additional day because you guys went so insane. In fact, we sold out of jars for the second time during this short campaign. So they are restocked. Once again, you can see the new jar here, the Peach Rings flavor, as well as my custom jars here, like the Boo Berry Sparkle, as well as the fan favorite Rev's Rocket Pop. You can see all the other flavors on here. You have Focus, Energy, and Hydration. Personally, I like the Energy flavor jars because it gives you the same energy boost as energy drinks or pre-workout without the crash associated with those sources. You can see all the different flavors. You can check it out for yourself with the link. And also you can get a shaker to mix all of this together. Of course, you have these different options here. Again, use the link in the pinned comment and Rev30 for 30% off your total order. And that will expire at the end of the day. Thank you guys for the crazy support on this. That's why we're getting an additional day. And I was told by my partner manager, if we sell out these jars again, I'm going to get a original flavor for the summer, a new custom flavor jar for the summer. So let's make that happen, okay? But anyways, let's get back to the content here. Now, before we get into Cat's video, let's establish the parties here and why it's so significant. So here is Dokibird, the subject of this hit piece. As you can see, she is a very successful indie VTuber, but her history is very important here. So, back a few years ago, she worked with Niji Sanji, the VTuber agency, as Selen Tatsuki. This is her account. She was eventually terminated. She was fired from this agency in February of 2024, stemming from many different things. But as she was terminated, Dokibird shared her experience with the company and all of the things that went wrong, including the favoritism in the company, the fact that Dokibird spent hundreds of thousands of dollars for various events and tournaments at Niji Sanji in their benefit, and she was never compensated for that. She also revealed that she was bullied by people in the company to the point of attempting her own life twice. It was that bad. And how did Niji Sanji respond to this? Well, they made this infamous black screen video on YouTube uploaded by one of their talents where Alir Pandora and 2 of her fellow gen mates, they made statements about the Dokibird controversy and essentially threw their former friend under the bus. They said crazy out-of-pocket things about her. They even revealed that they were looking at some of her private information. They even tried to basically say she was a dangerous individual that they're afraid of. All of it a bunch of BS. And as you can see by the like-dislike ratio on this backfired horribly. In fact, I would say this is the worst PR moment in the history of VTubing. But anyways, she would return to her former account, Dokibird, and she would have immense levels of success. Her debut stream, her re-debut stream, she would have over 100,000 concurrent viewers, and to this day, she is doing really, really well. And she is someone, like I said earlier in the video, she is very well respected among artists because she has gone above and beyond to compensate them, even when she was working with Niji Sanji, the company wasn't actually providing any compensation. She did so out of her own pocket. That's the kind of person that Dokibird is. So
the thing is, yes, that's a good thing to do. This is a thing that should be done, or it's the fair thing to do. But this was a gigantic mistake on her side to actually do that in any kind of way. If she didn't support them in this way, Niji Sanji wouldn't exist as a titan as it is today. And we all would be better off because of it. So, I don't blame her for doing those things, but it was definitively a mistake. It was kind-hearted, but also foolish.
Who's the other person involved here? Well, it's Cat Liente, and she is someone who is the definition of a tourist. Someone who is showing interest in things they don't actually know anything about. You can see from her her profile here on Twitter, she is a content creator.
Wait, showing interest in things that you don't know about is a bad thing now? I mean, it's one thing to showing interest and being a little bitch about it like she is. Those are two different things. I would never ever say that showing interest in something that you don't know about is a bad thing, no matter the context. I really have to hard disagree on this one, on the choice of words with Ref here.
Advice TikToker and also a news YouTuber. Now you can see the moment everything changed for Cat Liente. About a year ago, this is what her YouTube channel looked like. It's all about giving content creators advice, right? All of these videos, a couple thousand views per video, right? But this is the moment everything changed. You can see the literal video that changed it all for her. This VTuber was scammed. VTuber drama, and it gets 93,000 views. And this is what her channel looks like nowadays. She completely flipped the script 100%. She did a 180 the second she saw that she was getting more views talking about drama. And of course, there's nothing wrong with talking about drama. I'm talking about drama. I regularly talk about drama, but the difference is I'm actually invested. I care about the things I'm talking about. Kat has over and over again shown that she is a tourist. She doesn't understand what she's talking about, and she tries to make serious videos and serious claims about people, especially in the VTubing industry, that she has no idea about. She doesn't understand the underlying subjects, and it leads to...
The thing is, even if you don't understand the subject, and you try your best, people that are in this particular thing will appreciate it. So I don't blame her for that. But if you're a drama YouTuber and you do drama in a way where it's false, let's just say false to a high degree, you're just sharing false information, that's bad. That's extremely, extremely not just bad, it's disgusting. I think that this is the biggest problem about it.
Either dishonest information or, in my belief, sometimes an intentional misrepresentation of situations to fulfill her own agenda. Never more evidenced than this video right here. I talked about this last summer. She made this ridiculous video about this lolly VTuber group. There obviously had some controversy, but they were being absolutely blasted by a harassment campaign that went very, very strong on them. They were being harassed endlessly. They were being mass reported. They lost several of their accounts as a result of this. They were being threatened with doxing. They were being threatened with all sorts of things, to the point where one of the members of this group attempted their own life. And after that happened, one of the VTubers in this group made a response on Discord where they're showing their frustration about the situation they're in, and Kat took that and completely flipped the script. She said they were the ones who started a harassment campaign. She blamed them. She completely misrepresented the entire situation because it fulfilled her own agenda. And when she was called out for this and she was exposed, she said it didn't matter because the people involved in this group were too small to ever put a dent in her career.
Yep.
Gio, I've been lurking for a while, and I don't know if you mentioned this yet. I haven't talked about the lollipop stuff. I will not talk about it on stream because I'm probably going to make a second video about it. But my Twitch will get banned if I talk about it on stream due to how sensitive the topics are. So I'm going to record it off stream. Didn't know if you mentioned, but worried with all the people that are with the lollipop group or organizing a mass report raid. Yeah, what are they going to do? Mass report me? Nice try. I've already... Look. I'm gonna be fully honest, and this is gonna be mean. They're not big enough to put a dent in me, to be honest, okay? I've already called out Gideon, and I had the entirety of Gideon's Stan fan base mass report me. So... that, their little lolly accounts is not gonna put a dent into me.
So now that you have a sense of who Catliente is, you understand why people would be already very hesitant to see her talking about Dokibird at...
Correctly. And you also have to remember, this will haunt her until the end of her career. Good, by the way.
...any capacity, and why this video is such a epic disaster. So it's an hour and 48 minutes. You better like this video because I sat here and listened to her dribble for nearly 2 hours so I could present this to you. I'm going to give you the TLDR in this situation because I'm not going to make you sit here and react to hours of content on something that she got wrong in almost every regard. But basically, she's accusing Dokibird of scamming some of her audience, where she had this PC charity giveaway where she had the highest bidder who would be giving, who would receive a custom PC, obviously based on Dokibird, and this was something that was going on for about a year. The person who won this,
she sue her?
Obviously gave thousands of dollars to this campaign to be the winner, and there was complications. There was a lot of miscommunication between Dokibird, her management, and the winner of this contest, but Catliente makes it very clear she is blaming Dokibird for the actions of her team, which is very important. Remember that later in this video.
Oh, so there was a mistake made. Okay. Yeah, I mean, a mistake made is a mistake made. That's one thing. That's just how it is. But as soon as Dokibird actually corrected it, then it's irrelevant.
But then she also tries to say that there was no PC delivered, that the person who won this competition was basically shorted out of what they were entitled to. And she also makes a very strong point of saying the artist who was making this PC was shorted by Dokibird and her team, and that this is some big scam going on. Let's just get a small sense of what she was saying in this video with her introduction.
This is tea so piping hot. None of you guys have actually heard about it before because it has not been posted anywhere. This is about a big VTuber by the name of Dokibird and a charity stream that Doki had hosted over a year ago. It's actually crazy how bad this all falls apart. Manager's like, why does it cost so much? Why couldn't you donate it? Right? How is this the artist's fault? How is this the artist's responsibility that your team screwed up? We're a totally different legal entity from the old company. The old company had no official agreements with you, and the new company is looking into this and also have no agreements with you, let alone take over things of the old company. To this day, the artist has not been compensated for their labor, nor has the bidder received a PC. And it appears there's a new builder who is doing the build for free. I made this document, so I want to make sure I'm covering this correctly. Is this real? Unfortunately, it is.
So as you probably already guessed, a lot of this information shared in her video was a complete misrepresentation of what actually occurred, and Dokibird felt compelled enough by Catliente's video to release a Google Doc on Twitter explaining her side of the story and debunking pretty much everything that Cat said in that nearly 2-hour long hit piece. And of course, it's like, imagine being so foul that Dokibird releases a Google Doc on you. That's absolutely insane. But in this, I'm going to summarize what Dokibird said. So let's begin with the intro here. So full statement on the charity auction and recent allegations. To everyone following the situation regarding the charity auction, I want to address the claims that have been circulating, particularly in a recent video. This has been an incredibly difficult experience, but I believe the full story deserves to be heard. First and foremost, I accept the handling of this auction item was far from ideal. I want to sincerely apologize to those impacted, especially the winner, for the delays and confusion, and I tremendously appreciate the patience and support the winner has shown me. I take responsibility for how things unfolded, but I also need to be transparent about the challenges that were taking place behind the scenes, many of which have not been shared publicly until now. I feel that it is time that I share this with everyone, as I am coming to terms with what occurred in the summer. At the time of the auction was concluding, I was in the middle of a serious and distressing transition. My previous management team had taken full control of my brand, and I was actively working with lawyers and the police to reclaim ownership of Dokibird. During this time, I was also forced to move out of my home under...
For F's sake, Dokibird. Didn't you learn from fucking Niji Sanji? Just throw this shit yourself, for fuck's sake. Ah. Okay, fair enough.
Under police supervision, a situation so severe it required formal reports and the help of personal friends and staff. It was during this incredibly turbulent time that the charity item fell into the hands of my team while I was trying to survive and restart my life from the ground up. I won't go into too much detail, but this screenshot is a snapshot of how bad it was. And she'll go on to talk about...
This is... With the amount of ice you have, how the fuck didn't you have any money? There was a mistake made somewhere here. And you're not sharing it. But there was a big fuck up here. And I think there I don't know the details about it. But for F's sake, if... Okay, fair enough. I mean...
About how she passed this off to her management, some of which are no longer working with her, and there was a lot of miscommunication. That is very clear, right? And in this, the sort of giveaway here that was supposed to be happening, it kept taking more and more time. And it took about a year for a actual resolution to be met. But understand, like I said earlier, Kat puts all of the blame on Dokibird. She says, your actions of your manager are attributable to you. There was no contract, there was no formal agreement, so the confusion on various ends was in part because of these managers. Kat is saying that misunderstanding is all on Dokibird. Please remember that standard when we talk about some things and some controversies that Kat is currently facing. So what are we even talking about with this PC? Well, here's the problem. There was a couple $1,000s spent on the charity auction. That's what the winner actually contributed. But what were they being charged? What was Dokibird being charged by this PC maker? Nearly $15,000. It started off at $6,000, then it went to $8,000, then to $12,000, then to $14,900 to build a PC. Now, I've never built a PC, but I'm sure people in the audience have done so. Does it cost $15,000 to build a PC? I don't think so. And there was also a $4,000 cancellation fee being pushed onto Dokibird if she didn't want to follow through on this, which of course, again, there was no contract. There was no expectation of anything. So this person who was involved in making this PC was making up terms as they went and was trying to jack up the price of this entire build to the point of absolutely ridiculous numbers, like $15,000 to make this. Now, what did they actually do? What was the work that they provided that would yield nearly $15,000? Here it is. That's everything. This is everything.
You are bullshitting me right now. No, this isn't this is the concept. What? Okay.
Everything. Start to finish. This is the only thing that the artist ever provided. And also, by the way, the artist name was redacted in the Google Doc that Kat used, which of course is no longer available. She redacted all of the names except for Dokibird. This is so important that she has to fight for the justice of this artist, but won't share their name. Make it make sense. Now, let me make this even more clear here. This artist, this PC builder, pretty much produced nothing. Even this art right here, this is an art reference sheet that was made in 2020 by a different artist. They were just using it as their own reference for this PC template. And as you can see, all they did was crudely copy and paste other images on top of this PC template and added a couple notes here and there. That's all they did. I'm sure you or me or anyone else who's not even good at this stuff could probably produce something like this in a half an hour.
Yeah,
but they're charging nearly $15,000. Well, guess what? They say, well, that's justified because I spent 120 hours doing this. And of course, they asked Dokibird and her team, can we get...
Are you shitting me? Are you effing shitting me? 15,000. 15 effing thousand. For 120 hours. So this person basically took $125 per hour. And this is the day rate. Okay, now I see it. This is the day rate. Well, fuck me, I guess.
Get a time-lapse video of the PC build. Can we get pics of anything that happened? Can you prove to us that you produced anything? And they refused. And now they want $15,000. And now Kat is making a video accusing Dokibird of scamming this artist and shortchanging them when all they did was produce a reference sheet and then refused.
So, good. Now I understand it a bit more. Dokibird got shafted. Not her fault in this case. I mean, she is responsible for it, don't get me wrong, but it's not her fault. Fantastic.
To provide any evidence of the supposed 120 hours they put into making this PC that, for all we know, never actually existed. So, Kat and also many Niji-sanji sycophants are attacking Dokibird. They're raking her over the coals for this because she didn't want to pay $15,000 for a reference sheet. Make it make sense, ladies and gentlemen. This whole thing is so ridiculous, and it's even more ridiculous when you look at the pinned comment on this video, where there's so many updates on this, you can't even keep track of what's going on. She tries over and over again to basically double down on her original take and to say right here at the beginning, the buyer has been refunded the original amount and an extra $1,000. However, the artist involved hasn't been compensated at all. I didn't include this yet, but yes, they came to an agreement. The winner of the competition and Dokibird, they agreed privately and they amicably agreed on a price instead of giving the PC because this whole thing
done. Perfect. I don't know how you could handle the situation better. Perfect.
Fell apart. They gave them thousands of dollars, including an extra $1,000 to go out and build their own PC. So that was solved privately before this video was ever even made. So they're rehashing drama on behalf of someone who is totally fine with the result. But they still double down on this. And they also say the poor artist hasn't been compensated at all. Yeah, I'm sorry they didn't want to pay $15,000 for a reference sheet. Like, are you serious? And really the whole crux of her video, the entire basis, is trying to blame Dokibird for the actions of her management. Okay, she's saying, too bad, I know you're working through your managers, but they're responsible to you. So it's your fault. You're responsible for what your managers are doing. Boy, would that standard blow up in her face, because for some reason, she has decided over the past 2 days to rehash a controversy that happened in November of last year. So Kat got in some big trouble when she made this video about this Alicia VTuber here, where she basically clickbaited this woman's cancer diagnosis for a drama video. Obviously, that didn't go over very well. But again, this happened in November of last year, but now she's publicly addressing this, addressing the cancer clickbait incident with Alicia. There was a situation where Alicia, come on, dude. You didn't even proofread this? Where Alicia was hacked and lost access to their YouTube channel, and I had made a video about it titled something like VTuber with cancer was hacked. The VTuber publicly expressed on their Twitter that they did not want people to talk about their hacking situation, and I wanted to respect that and was going to delete the video. At this point, the video was not live. It was sitting as private on my channel. I should have deleted the video immediately to avoid miscommunication with my editor, and that's my fault. However, while I was asleep, my editor posted the video without me knowing. Ding, ding.
Yeah, and you didn't see it for an entire year, sure. I mean, for F6 scumbag.
She's attacking Dokibird, saying, you can't pass this blame on your manager who was communicating with this contest winner. You're wrong for that. It's your fault. And then here, addressing a 6-month-old controversy, she passes all of the blame onto her editor, a third party, just like she's accusing Dokibird of doing. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. A completely ridiculous person that we're dealing with here, and people are crucifying this woman, and I think rightfully so, for this weird attempt to show herself as a good person. Again, addressing controversy that happened like 6 or 7 months ago. Why are we talking about this now amidst all of this controversy with the video on Dokibird, which is still up? It's got, I don't know why she's doing this. It can't be worth all of this. And also, I'm not going to show it, but in her response...
I mean, there is a handful of people that actually get really good views by being the villain. Let's just say Logan Paul. But they also really abuse their fans to a very high degree. And if the parents of the fans would actually turn their fucking brains on and just not let the children look at stuff like this, then it would be different. But here we are.
To that VTuber, she also shared that she paid the VTuber money as like reparations or like compensation for making the video. She gave her like $150. But she posted a screenshot of the PayPal of this VTuber and crudely just drew like a thin line over her legal name. And you can see her legal name. She essentially doxed the woman. For what? I have no idea. It's so weird. It seems like it's malicious. How else does that happen? How else do you end up in a situation like that where you're not censoring properly a legal name? It's crazy. This whole situation is a disaster, and everything that this woman talks about blows up in her face because she's a tourist. She wants the attention, and unfortunately, the attention she is receiving now is negative because she botched another situation, this time involving Dokibird, among other VTubers as well. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to...
Yeah, she botched it. I hope she gets shafted for it to a certain degree, but at the end of the day, we will see. I just think that the situation is a bit more complicated, and to say that one side is 100% fault than the other, I would say that Dokibird is definitively maybe not innocent, because you should still watch what you're actually doing. That's just a fact. But I wouldn't say that she's at fault here. She's still responsible for it, but not at fault. The artist was clearly a scammer from the things that she showed us. If I got someone like this, I would just say nope, instantly suing the person and just being like, here we can do it like this, or fuck off. The other thing, well, manager definitively toxic. I mean, for F's sake, woman, why? Didn't you already have enough trouble with Nichi Sanji? Now this piece of shit. I know managing stuff like this isn't the easiest thing, but for fuck's sake, just hire someone that's under your thumb and make the contract particularly easy for you to fire someone. I would do it the exact same way. If somebody fucks up, just let them go. Simple as that. And it's always a question of the degree, acolytes. It's not that if somebody releases, let's just say, a manager has a misinformation, manages the entire thing a bit wrongly because the information that he got wasn't maybe 100% true. Then he decided a bit wrong, and it went out to a bit of a shit show. But he didn't do it on purpose. He didn't scam you or something like that. It was just a true to art mistake. Then not. But if it's a fuck up, yeah, then shaft him. Doki. I still hope that she's gonna do well here, not mentally, or mentally everything else that's included in it. Because in the end of the day, I still wish her the best. But as it is, good night.